posted a Black Panther Wakanda Forever review back in November. So that's what this is today. So yeah, I just finished rewatching Wakanda Forever. I finally got around to rewatching it. I kept on putting off filming a review for Wakanda Forever. I filmed the predictions right before going to see the movie, and then I got home and didn't have time to do a review that night, and then I just kept putting it off to the point where I was like, it was a month later, I'm like, I might as well just wait for it to come out on Disney Plus or on DVD so I can watch it a second time first and actually have it fresh on my mind. And now it's been about a month since then. So that's my bad. But I'm finally getting to it because I'm going to see Quantumania tomorrow, and I kind of want the reviews to be in order. So I wanted to make sure to get this one out before posting the Quantumania review tomorrow. Or at least I'm hoping to post the review tomorrow after getting back from the movie. It is like past midnight right now, so hopefully I can even get this out tonight. But also that means I'm probably going to make it a kind of quick one. I did just rewatch the movie, so there's a lot fresh on my memory, but I don't feel like I have as much to comment on this film as a lot of the other MCU films. So anyway, let's get down to it. If you haven't seen one of my review videos before, or at least one of my recent ones, I kind of have 3 parts. I do a quick non-spoiler review, so up to this point, no spoilers so far. I'll tell you when we hit the spoiler part. And then after that, I react to my predictions. Now, I made 5 predictions before seeing the film. You can click the cards to check out that video if you're interested. So I'll start by reacting to those predictions, and then, last but not least, I will finish reviewing anything else that I feel like talking about the film, full of spoilers, of course. Spoilers abound at that point. So anyway, let's start with a quick non-spoiler review. Did I like Wakanda Forever? I honestly liked it, but it wasn't my favorite. Like, I went into it not super hyped about it because I was more excited for, like, Quantumania. I'm still excited for Quantumania. Still haven't seen that yet. And I kind of forgot that it was happening for a while. And then it took me a while to see the trailers. And I didn't know much background about it going into it. And so I just wasn't as excited for it. But, you know, it could have gone either way for that anyway. I could have been surprised. Or what actually happened, I was a little bit disappointed. Like, I think my main things with the film was that, like, relatively to MCU, it was a little long and boring. It just didn't really scratch that itch for me in some places where it had a lot of really good moments, but it didn't keep me, like, super captured the entire time. And then the other thing is I don't like Shuri's character as much in this film as I did in the first Black Panther and in Infinity War. I honestly, back then, 5 years ago when those films came out, I loved Shuri, and I think at some point, either a video on Black Panther or Infinity War from way, way back, I remember saying, like, Shuri very well may be my new favorite character in the MCU. And for a second she was, but I feel like they just really toned down a lot of the things I like about her character in this movie. And I do understand, like, the journey she's going through, like, and the character development, and she's mourning, and, you know, all of that. It's valid for her to be different, but I just liked her character a lot in those other films better. And so just those 2 main things together made the movie just feel a little bit lackluster to me. It was really good, but I feel like it's a little bit overhyped. Like, I feel like the reception for this movie was, everyone thought it was amazing, and I was like, I mean, it's good, but not my favorite, compared to, like, other Phase 4 stuff, which I feel like was the opposite, where I'm like, oh, it's so good, and everyone's like, oh, da-da-da-da. Anyway, so I feel like it was kind of a switch that way. So yeah, those are my non-spoiler thoughts about the movie. So yeah, from now on, spoilers. It is, you know, nearly 4 months later, so I don't know if anyone cares about that, but yeah, the rest of the video is gonna have spoilers in it. Now let's go into reacting to my predictions. I only did 5 because that's really all I had time for when I was trying to film my predictions video last minute. But let's start by reacting to some of my predictions. My first one was a really low-hanging fruit, I guess. Who will be the next Black Panther? I said it would be Shuri. That was kind of obvious, especially from the trailers. But I've got 1 point there. We're hoping to get at least half of them right. Let's keep going. My second prediction was answering the question, is Namor or Namor, they said it both ways in the film, actually like totally evil? And I said no, he was gonna be a more complex villain and probably not even completely the villain in the end. And I don't think I'm gonna give myself a point for that. I mean, he was kind of a more complex villain, especially with the middle parts where he's still trying to get, you know, Shuri to join his mindset and team up and whatnot. But I feel like after that, for the majority of the film, he's like full-on villain evil. Even at the end when like he and Shuri kind of reconcile, or just like he yields to Shuri, it reveals even after that he had an ulterior motive then, and he's still not, you know, a great person. So I'm not gonna give myself a point for that one. So we're 1 out of 2 at this point. Third prediction, I asked, will we see Kang like in a credit scene or something building up to Kang Dynasty and everything? And I said no, that'll be saved for Ant-Man. And I was right there. So that's 2 out of 3 now. And my fourth prediction, I answered the question, will there be any reference to the multiverse? Because that's what a lot of Phase 4 has been about. And I said that there would be, and there wasn't. So I got that wrong. 2 out of 4 at this point. And my fifth prediction, for a second, I think I just realized I might have written these down initially on my note page in a different order than I talked about them in my last video. So maybe this is out of order and I just realized that, but it's okay if it isn't. Anyway, my fifth prediction was about how did T'Challa die in universe, and I said this whole thing about how I didn't think he would get sick, and apparently he did. So I was wrong about that. So for this film, I only got 2 out of 5 on my predictions. Not super good, less than half. I mean, still 2 out of 5 is 40%. Not terrible, but worse than, you know, my goal. Anyway, those are my predictions, reacting to my predictions. I think going into it, I didn't know as much about the film as, like, for most Marvel films going into it. I've dug through the trailers and I'm, like, super ready for, like, all of the little details to come in and stuff. But this one, I feel like I didn't really know as much about it going into the film. So, there closes part 2 of my review. Part 3, the real review, a spoiler review. It's hard to think. There's just a lot of stuff just running in my mind real quick, and I have not written down anything. I have my notes from my last video, but I don't have any notes for this review, and I'm just gonna, you know, ramble on for as long as I feel like. Probably not too long, because I'm hoping that I'll be able to still edit this video in not too long and get it posted without staying up too late. But some thoughts. I already talked a lot about Shuri's characterization in this movie. Well, I don't personally like her character as much in this film because she's not like the quirky, nerdy little sister that I really liked that character in Black Panther and Infinity War. I do think the storyline that they have with her makes sense, and oh my gosh, if there is a Marvel movie to turn on because you want to cry, this one is it for me. Especially just the beginning and the end. Some parts in the middle. There's a lot of other really long parts that aren't that, but at the beginning, oh my goodness, I remember in the theater the Marvel logo that's just all dedicated to Chadwick Boseman, and it's just completely quiet, was like chilling, and I remember getting a tear. And then like the end where there's like another montage with the music, and then the credit scene with the little T'Challa and everything. Like there's a lot of really emotionally like welling points in this film. They do add to it a lot, I feel like. This is definitely a more serious film, And maybe that's just why it's not to my preference. Like, it's a really good movie, but it's just, I like a little more lighthearted stuff, usually. But yeah, the storyline with Shuri makes sense. Her mourning T'Challa, being mad about it, going through the stages of grief, and then Ramonda dies too. The first time I saw that, I didn't even think that that was gonna be a thing. In hindsight, I'm like, that makes sense. But I was really surprised when that happened. And then at the end, when it closes up Shuri's character arc and she doesn't kill Namor, and you can see the look on M'Baku's face and he's like proud of her. It rounds that storyline out really well. I did appreciate that. I didn't think at any point that Marvel would actually have her kill Namor. There were points where I knew that she wanted to, but I didn't think that they would kill him at the end of the movie. Like, I just didn't think real world reasons that they would kill him off, because he's such a great character. And speaking of that, his portrayal was just awesome. Just the whole story about him and the Talokanil, the people from Talokan, I still feel like I'm saying that wrong, was really intriguing, and I feel like there was a lot of really good, cinematography in this film as well. Like, there were a lot of really visually pleasing aspects, and I specifically think about that point where she goes to Talokan when it looks just really cool. Let's see, other stuff. Riri Williams. Oh my gosh, I had no idea who she was just before seeing this movie, and I love her. I'm so excited to see more of her. I wish we got more of her in the movie, honestly. There were just like little tidbits here and there, and I feel like even though she was there for a lot of that, maybe she just didn't have that much of a chance to shine, and when she did, it was just really brief. But I think her Ironheart suit looked really cool. The shoulders were really big, but it still looked really cool. Speaking of suits, that's one other thing I'm thinking about, is the ones that, I forgot what they're called, Midnight something, Warrior something. The ones that Okoye and Annika were wearing were not my favorite. They did not translate well to screen, I feel like. Also, new Black Panther suit. I think Shuri's looks pretty cool. It was a really cool scene when she was finally in that and just landed down and in the group of people, and she's Black Panther now. That was a good scene. Oh, also, some fight scenes. I always, with Marvel movies, like to talk about the fight scenes a little bit. That reminds me, a couple things I remember thinking about, the fight scene on the side of the boat was really cool, and going back to Riri Ironheart, the entire thing where she, clears out the cop cars with the missile thing? The drone. It was a drone. By using her differential equations. That was a nice touch. That's one of the things that definitely makes me want to see more of her in her own element. Let's see, what else? This is the struggle of not writing anything down, but I just didn't have time to write anything down. It was fun seeing Agent Ross again, and apparently he was married to what's-her-face? Hydra. Something Hydra. Oh my gosh. I can't even with these new characters. It's been so long since I've seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's where she's introduced. Madam Hydra, that's what it is. Okay. You'd think I'm not even a super big MCU fan. I'm just kind of out of it, I guess. Out of the loop a little bit. Valentina De Fontaine. So that was a random thing to throw in there. That was interesting. Interesting to see where they take her with future MCU projects. What else? I think I'm gonna call it. I think that's everything running around in my head that I wanted to talk about. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of the movie, and if you've even had a chance to watch it recently. or rewatch it since it came out. Anyway, as always, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, which you can do by clicking over there. Click the notification bell so you will be notified when I post my Quantumania review, hopefully tomorrow. And while you're waiting, you can check out some more of my videos. Up top, you can find that Black Panther Wakanda Forever predictions video from like 4 months ago. And underneath that is a playlist of all of my MCU related videos. No, let's do movie reviews. All of my movie reviews right there. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.